these are layer styles. And what I want to show you is some you may or may not like this technique, and I don't use it in competition, but it is pretty cool for your own personal stuff. I can put this effect. I think I can. There we go. Can you look at the outside border, and you'll see the technique I put on that. And I did that in layer styles. And how I did it was, I went to pattern overlay, and this is a pattern I have. You can take a picture of anything and make it into a pattern, but I downloaded these patterns, so I thought they were neat and they were free anyway. And I changed it to luminosity, because if you do that, it doesn't impart the color of your pattern that you're using. And you notice I've lowered it down to about a 9% opacity. And I changed the scale, because if you go back down, if you look at it, you see you take the scale down, you can actually see the pattern. It's too distracting. But if you take it up to like 500 or 600%, and if you see what happens with luminosity, you kind of lose it, or the opacity. So you just take it down to like less than 10 usually works. And you can use any pattern. And that's done in the pattern overlay part of your layer style. Now, if I wanted to use this style again, all I have to do is click on New Style and put on here J pattern 1. I can't spell it right. It doesn't matter anyway. I'm just going to show you this. Okay, so then if I go up to the styles next time, I go down here, there's the pattern. All I have to do is click on this and I've got it. I don't have to try to recreate the pattern every time. While I'm in here, I'll show you another one. Let's see if I can. Let me click on this layer. When you do that, sometimes if you don't have all of your blending options, go down here to this, so it shows all effects. The first time I did that, I wondered what I had done to the thing, but anyway. These are the styles, some of the styles I have. And I have a mess of them, as you can see. But on this, I'm going to see if this will work on this one. There you go. I just clicked it, and it recreated that style that I had saved from using these features in here. And you can still go back and edit. I can click on this if I want if I want to change the stroke width, for instance. I can just widen it like this. And I got that by using a gradient and these colors. And it's not really good for this picture, but it's just for demonstration anyway. Okay, that's one thing that you can use blend layer styles for. I have another image here I want to show you. When I found out I could do this, it was like, holy mackerel. And I don't know when it dawned on me one day, maybe somebody already knows it, but Jay didn't know it, I can tell you that. Mm-hmm. This is a cutout of a model I shot here on a white background. And it's not really that good a shot, but just good for demonstration. And then I wanted to use this background with it. But you can see the trouble. As soon as you look at it, there's a light over here and there's a dark over here. So this side should have more light on it. So there's a way in layer styles to do that, and I'll show you. So I'm going to take that off a minute. Put this black background on. And if you look up close, you see this white line around her? That sometimes happens on an extraction. This is a side note. If you want to get rid of that, you can go to Layer, Matting, Remove Black or White Matte. I'm going to remove the white matte. Watch it, see if it goes away. Boom, it's gone.
Wow.
Okay, just something, put that in your memory banks. It doesn't have anything to do with layer styles. It's just a nice to know bit of information. Okay, so now I want to make the light look right on her according to the way this is a dollar photo background, by the way. I actually paid $1 for. So we're going to put light on her. So I'm going to use that by doing layer styles. So I'm going to go in here and get all my layer styles back again. And I want to, in order to make it light on this side, I'm going to have to put an inner glow on her. So I'll click inner glow, and you have to start adjusting the sizes on it. We'll try it about like that. All right, now the other side needs to have a shadow. But you can see it's already got a glow around it. This thing you can't discriminate. You have to put the glow all the way around it. So what I'm going to do now is turning this off. I'm going to put a shadow on this side. So same technique. Click here. Let's see, shadow, inner shadow. It's in the multiply mode. That's right. I'm going to bring the size up. Choke it a little bit there. Change the distance on it. Need a little bit more opacity on it. There we go. Now you can see it. Here's the difference. There's with and without. Okay. So now we're going to bring this back into the out of layer styles, but you have to turn them both on for this. So they're conflicting. Okay. Now this is the magic part. When I found this out, I said, "Whoa! I love it." This is the trick. You now, when you're in layer styles down here, now you have your effects. You can actually make layers out of them. You right click on effects and you go to create layers. So there's your shadow layer and there's your highlight layer. Now that you've got layers, guess what you can do? You can turn this off. You can put a mask on it. Boom. I got a mask on it. So now, if I want to take the highlight off of this side, I take black, my brush. I'm at 100% opacity and flow. I can just paint it right off of there. Boom, it's gone. I'll put it on top of her head. Boom, right there, it's off. In here, the light was coming from this direction, so it shouldn't be light here. It should only be light in there. It takes care of that side. Okay, let's get the shadow side on. Turn this back on. But what it did was it put a shadow over here. So what do we do? Put a mask on it. Boom. You got it? All right, I'm going to cut this highlight thing off. And we're going to paint over the shadows on the mask to take them off. So now I turn both of them back on. We got a shadow on this side. You can see it. Let me turn it off and show you. The shadows on this side, you'll notice, whoops, I just painted over it. Let me get some white. Okay. Turn the shadow off on the camera left side, and I'm going to turn the highlight off now on the camera right side to show you what it did. So now when I bring her back into the picture, it looks a little bit more realistic. And that's all done.
All right, where do I send you money? Crap, that was worth, like, yeah.
You know, that's the way I felt when I figured that out, Bruce. I said, holy crap, because you're always trying to create light when you're working with something that you've extracted, because the light's never quite where you wanted it to be.
Dang.
But that's just one thing. I study layer styles, and I've found so many things out doing that. Incidentally, something else you may or may not know. When you create a layer style where I showed you back in here, you got your styles up here, guess what? They show up in your libraries. So if you've got one made up in your libraries, you don't even have to go down to your layer styles. You just click on libraries and it applies it right there. This is I think this just came out probably in a couple versions ago. I hope so, because if it didn't, I've been screwing around this the hard way for a long time. That's, let's see if there's any other one to show you. I had another one here I was doing. Let me see. This is the same girl with a different pose and a different background. If you got time for me to show you. This was a lot more complicated because I did more things to it. This was a stock photo I put behind her. Once again, this was a dollar photo. It's not my picture, but I paid, it's legitimate because I paid $1 for it through dollarphoto.com. It's since been bought out by Adobe, I think. I wanted to put a tone on her because you notice this kind of has a tone to it, and she didn't have the same tone in the photograph. So in order to do that, let me open this up. What you do, this is another one that's worth the price of admission if you didn't know how to do this. Let me copy this stock photo a minute. Turn everything else off here. Okay, you copy do J on this. If you want to find out what color this thing is, the way to do it is you go up into filter, blur, average. That's the average color of that photo. So now I can take this color here and turn the model back on. I can drag this up over top of her. Oops, if I can do it. I can't really show you that. It won't let me do it because I've got it in a group. But here's how you do it. The model's here, and you got this here. Let me turn this back on. Everything all screwed up here now. Okay. Where is she? There she is. I've lost my model. Come back, model. Where are you? Dadgummit, I've lost her.
Is she behind you? Is she behind the foreground?
Let's see, maybe it's here. Yeah. Okay. What I did is you take that color. I've got it. It's hard for me to try to figure it out right now when I'm talking to everybody. You take where I took this image, you did that color, you bring it up over top of her, and you change it to overlay mode. And it imparts that color on her skin. But I'm trying to figure out, somehow I got her screwed up there. And it ain't easy with everybody watching how I did it. Oh, and turn that off. There you go. There you go.
We're a patient group, Jay.
I know. Everybody watching is still tough, but yeah, that's the way you can get a color of an image. You just go on the image and you go to not just her. This is just for the background. I went to filter, blur, average, and it takes the color of that background image and it makes that template for me. And then I just drag it over top of her, change it to overlay mode, and adjust the opacity so that she appears the same color, overall color as the background. And then I did the same thing to her up here with the, you can see right here on this layer, if you can see the layer I'm pointing to over here, that's where I put the highlight on her on this side because the light seemed to be coming from this direction. So I put the highlight on her. I don't think I put her back any shadow on this side. Probably didn't think it needed it. Then I put a couple texture layers over top of it to make it even more interesting to finish it off.
Cool.
But that's just playing is all that's doing. That's how I learned how to do stuff. I start playing until I figure it out.
That is fantastic. So you
got
can
any questions about the layer styles though?
I do.
Go ahead.
You said about it going into your library. Do you have to save it or?
When the way it looks to me, and and like I say, I just found this out myself. If you save it in styles, it shows up as under layer styles in your library.
Okay, so you save it.
Right. So when you're in, let's go back here on this one again. So when you're in here, make another. Let me open this one up. So I try and screw up another image. Okay. I want to use that mat technique we did the other day to put a mat on her real quick. When I go in here on layer styles, you just double click your image to take your layer styles, and then you can go down to go up in styles. And I'm on this image. I'm on the background image for her, and I'm going to try a couple of these. What we got here. Some of these don't work. I don't know why, but we'll find out. Okay, there's a straight stroke I put on her with that one. There's that. We see how easy it is to apply a layer style. Once you make them and you got your template made, you just click on it and boom, it goes there. Now, let's get out of here and let's go and look at our library and see if it works the same way up there. Some of them do, some of them don't, but I haven't been playing with them very long. Okay, that one worked. There's the golden stroke. And see, by doing that, I don't even have to go into layer styles to do it. I just go into my library and click it. So there's a good tip for you.
Well, that was worth the price of admission.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
I just like to play,
Oh.
so I find these things out.
Thank you, Jay, so much.
You're welcome. If anybody ever has any questions what I did, call me, text me, message me. I'll be glad to share with you.
Thank you.